We explain the impact of the religious wars in Ireland. The religious wars took a hard toll on the already strained relationship between the English and the Irish. During the 400 years since Henry II had declared Ireland to be part of the lordship, making Ireland its first colony, the Irish had controlled the power structure. Even though English monarchs knighted certain individuals to be earls over the various regions, the recognized power on the island among the Irish were still the chiefs of the clans. The most devout Irish Catholic region on the island was in Ulster, 6 of whose counties still comprised Northern Ireland as of 2020. The crown designate for the area was known as the Earl of Tyrone. The clan chief was of the O'Neills. The Irish had gained even more control over the island while the British military was distracted in the 100 Years' War against France and then the War of the Roses Civil War. In the 1300s, the English had forbid intermarriage between the Irish and the English and forbid Gaelic. The Irish ignored it. Then Henry VIII broke England away from the Catholic Church. Irish priests reminded the people that a non-Catholic ruler had no power under God, and it was their duty to rebel against heresy. So in 1541, Henry VIII declared himself to be King of Ireland and began making power moves from the most loyal English area known as the Pale. This is central eastern Ireland, centered around Dublin. Henry intended to enforce English dominance, especially after Gerald Fitzgerald, the appointed Earl of Kildare, was repeatedly locked in the Tower of London for disloyalty. In 1534, after his latest arrest, rumors began to spread of his beheading. His son Thomas, known as Silken Thomas, gathered Irish clan leaders together like the O'Neills to attack Dublin. The English put down the revolt and executed Thomas and his 5 uncles. To put out the fire of rebellion, Henry's diplomats pushed through laws in Irish Parliament to declare the Reformation legal, destroy Catholic monasteries, dissolve priesthood, and encourage English land ownership. One of the tactics of Henry was to buy off the clan chiefs by confiscating their land and then giving it back to them in perpetuity to be held by their families if they pledged loyalty to the crown. In other words, they were bought off with titles. Rebellions continued. When Mary became queen, she sent troops to garrison the island, and English settlers were encouraged to carve out plantations to force an English way of life. This led to a rebellion known as the 9 Years' War under Queen Elizabeth that brought the Spanish into Ireland. In 1593 to 1603, the Earl of Tyrone, Hugh O'Neill, joined up with clan chief Hugh O'Donnell and led their clans in revolt against the plantation system in Northern Ireland. In the rebellion, they fought the Scottish Presbyterians and the English Anglicans that had settled in Ulster. They won many of the battles and then even secured the backing of the Spanish crown. Philip II had been looking for a victory in the war against the English after they sunk the Spanish Armada in 1588, and because of their support of the Netherlands revolt. He armed the Irish, and then he sent forces to Kinsale outside of Cork. Bad planning led to a long-term siege by the English and a surrender of the Spanish that left the Irish with no choices. The Earls gave up and fled to Spain, and the Protestants took Northern Ireland.